Pakistan is the world's sixth most populated country and the second largest South Asian country, having more than 200 million people, which of whom 51% are male and the other 49% are females. Pakistan is one of the places where honor killing is practiced, where the female family members get killed or murdered to defend their family honor after committing an action that will bring shame and considered dishonor for the family. Child marriage is a serious concern in Pakistan, with 21% marrying before the age of 18. Till this day, violence against women, such as rape, murdering through honor killing, acid attacks, domestic violence, and forced marriage, remain routine. Here are some of the reported incidents. In June 2016, Zinat Rafiq, an 18 years old girl, was burned to death by her mother for bringing shame to the family by marrying someone of her own choosing. In May 2017, an 19-year-old teacher was tortured and burned to death by family members for refusing an arranged marriage. In July 2017, Kandil Baloch, a well-known Pakistani model, was killed by her brother in a so-called honor killing.
Outlawed in Pakistan is the true story of Kainat Sumro, a village girl. She is the protagonist of this documentary, which follows her persistent pursuit of justice against 4 men whom she accused of drugging and gang raping her at the age of 13.
फिर उसने मेरे साथ ज़्यादती की 3 लोग थे। फिर मुझे नशे की हालत में तीनों जवाबदार वहाँ से ले गए नामालूम जगह पर। फिर जहाँ पर वो चौथा आदमी था, उसने मेरे साथ ज़्यादती की।
Kainat faces backlash from her community, who threaten her for speaking out against her abusers. Her family fear for their safety as they flee from their homes, but continue to be harassed, which is a clear infringement of their right to liberty and freedom of person as laid out in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
मार देते हैं, या तो काली करके मार देते हैं या ऐसे ही। को कोई नहीं कहता आदमी को, वो तो बासा लोग होते हैं ना, बस वो चुप हो जाते हैं जब फिर दोष ठहराते हैं लड़की को।
Defense argued that one of the alleged rapists was married to Kainat, but Kainat denies having any memory of consenting to a marriage. She recalls signing documents under duress while being drugged, but the courts side with the defendants.
जिन लोगों ने हमारे ऊपर ज़्यादती की है, जुल्म किया है, जिन लोगों ने हमें घर से बेघर किया है, हम उन लोगों को सज़ाए मौत दिलाएंगे।
The film focuses on 2 important issues. 1. Even though the Universal Declaration of Human Rights emphasizes that everyone is equal without discrimination, women still struggle with obtaining justice in cases of domestic violence and rape. 2. The use of marriage to justify rape is a common defense which does not make it any less of a crime.
Through this video, we can see that in Pakistan, when women were raped, they will receive social condemnation rather than sympathy. This is not correct. In any country, what we need to do is to punish the perpetrator rather than the victim. So, in my opinion, both in morally and legally, Pakistan needs to do more to help women's rights.
I want to talk about Pakistani women's life after marriage. Pakistani women is more family-oriented. Even if they have a good education and a good job, most of them will stop working after marriage and devote themselves to supporting their husband and children. Immediately after marriage, she becomes a full-time housewife. She becomes pregnant, has children, take care of children, and take care of her husband. Pakistani women respect their husband very much and listen to their husband in all the big and small things in the family, thus minimizing family conflicts caused by disagreements between husband and wife. Pakistani women can take care of their families in a more considerate way. Their husbands don't have too much pressure. They can put their energy into work and don't worry too much about life problems. Because Pakistani women are bound by traditions and religion, they avoid or cover up strange men when they meet them outside. So they have great loyalty to marriage due to the influence of education and the whole society and culture. Pakistani women may have done nothing at home if their family conditions allow before the wedding. Well, after the wedding, they will make taking care of their husband and children as their whole glorious mission.
According to the research in early years, the women education rate in Pakistan was at the bottom of the world. The Pakistan Muslim legal states they would ensure equal access for women to education, as well as health and employment, during the selection in 2013. The question is, nowadays, are women truly getting equal chance to get the education in Pakistan? The answer to that is there is no change, even there are signs of improvements for girls in some areas of Pakistan. Based on government data for 2017, the gap between the numbers of boys and girls in education is about 10%. However, the data has barely changed since 2013. Alif Island is a non-profit education organization in Pakistan. According to their report, the reason why girls are out of school is typically not the attitude of parents towards education girls, but the lack of enough schools for girls. In this picture, the girls are going to school. However, those girls have been treated unfairly because the boys of their culture get to attend a nice school, and those few lucky girls are forced in a tiny classroom and can barely breathe because it is too hot. According to the Global Gender Gap Report in 2017, the literacy rate in Pakistan for men was about 69%, but for women, it was only 44%. Even though those data doesn't tell the whole story, because there are large variations between different regions. Females are educated equally like men in urban areas. However, in rural areas, the education rate is substantially lower, and in some poor areas, only 20% of girls have the chance to go to school.
So today we're going to be discussing about Pakistan's culture, more specifically women's rights. So we're going to be touching on marriage rights, education, and even the rape culture. So, so when's the last time you guys visited Pakistan?
The last time I visited, I think, was in 2012 in the summer.
Last time I went was 2010 over the summer.
Okay, so you guys have a little experience over there. So first we're going to talk about education rights. What do you guys know about education rights in Pakistan, or would want other people to know about it?
Well, like within women in general, I think it's kind of limited, or like just like education in Pakistan in general is like not as like resourceful as it is in America, especially like tailored towards women. You always see like men going into like bigger businesses, opening up their businesses and whatnot, but then women, I think also women have this like stigma of that education isn't as important and that they just want to become housewives, and then it's like difficult to like move forward and better the society.
Definitely. Manur, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Nimrat. Although I do still think that there has been more and more awareness of education in Pakistan, especially with how much how important it is for it to, like, for women to have in their lives, because, you know, I think it's also been tied into like culture that, you know, when a woman grows up, she just becomes a housewife and takes care of the kids. But people realize that having knowledge that women can have more control of their own lives just for having an education and to pursue whatever passions that they have, that women before in past generations in Pakistan weren't able to.
No, and that could like regardless be about like anything. You know, I think most people think like, oh, in order for you to be successful, you have to be engineer, lawyer, doctor. But like, if you want to pursue anything within like the media or like within fashion, I think that still should be open to many.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what Malala stood for, you know, for education rights. And I think ever since, like, you know, it's taken a little drift and is getting better over time. And hopefully in the near future, we'll see a better Pakistan, like, you know. So, yeah, what do you guys know about marriage rights?
Regarding marriage, because
it's such like because marriage, right? Because like there's like a difference, because there's so many. There's like love marriage, there's like forced marriage, and then there's arranged marriage. A lot of people confuse arranged marriage and forced marriage, and I think it's important to clarify that arranged marriage is marriage that your parents set you up with, and then forced marriage is something that your parents force you to do, saying that you have to marry this person or else like, you can't be it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I still do think that I still think Pakistan, like, marriage is still, there is like women are still like extremely limited to like the person that they want to marry, because there is still like that I still do think that still exists. Like there has been like maybe like there's been like slight changes over the years that like women may want to like pick, you know, a guy that she may be interested in, but that also like it's not just, but like there's like certain standards that women like from Pakistani families have to meet, you know, like he has to be Muslim and
100%.
He has to have a good job, and you know, like I'm not saying those things aren't important, but there's definitely like high levels of standards that your parents expect you to come, otherwise like you just can't be with that guy. Or especially like I think one of the biggest ones is that if the guy follows like a different faith, it's considered like a burden for the family. So I still do think that still exists in like a huge majority of Pakistani families, and there's many extreme cases as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this ties in with education. Like the more educated a woman is, like the better off she is in terms of like marriage. Like she won't be forced to get married, become a housewife and whatnot.
Right. Yeah, education is so important, not just only for the women, but for the family as well. Because when your family, like, you know, if you grow up in an educated family, meaning that, you know, your parents and your siblings have gone to school, like not only primary school, but like college, you know, university, having like some like decent level of knowledge and being informed about like the world around you. I think that I think that's when parents can get along with their children better, because they're able to communicate.
But then there's also like that concern that like for financial reasons, like many students or many kids don't even go to school because like their families, they always like especially in like the gaon, like the village, like they don't have the access to students in like Karachi, for example, like a bigger city. So I think that's like financially most students don't go to school because one, they have to work for their family, and two, if let's say like their mom is sick or their dad is sick, they can't leave them alone. So I think that's
yeah, I definitely think financial reasons is like number one why women don't go to school. Because like I've seen it, like my cousin in Pakistan, like, you know, even the guys, like they don't go to school because they don't have that money, and it's like it's pretty expensive over there. And so the last thing I want to talk about is the rape culture. I know that's not something like everyone really wants to talk about, but it's like something that needs to be touched on. And even in America, like we see all these like Hollywood stars like being accused, Bill Cosby, someone you would never even think of like doing such, you know, acts. But those things do exist, especially in like the Middle East, Southeast, and even America. So what would you guys want other people to know about Pakistan's like rape culture?
There's definitely still a stigma that exists in Pakistan, especially with rape culture, because, you know, as people have been like emphasizing on media, you know, rape doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you don't know. It doesn't have to be like an old, you know, I think there's like a picture that people have in their minds of what a rapist looks like, but in all honesty, majority of rape cases come from
someone that you know.
Someone you know, whether it's a family member, an acquaintance, maybe even like
a coworker.
Literally
anybody that you've come across.
So so in regards to rape culture in Pakistan,
it's still pretty prominent, I guess. And what sucks more is that like even when it does happen and you report it to the police, they'll like lie and say like, oh yeah, we'll do our best to investigate, but then like the next day.
Exactly. And not even that, like even if like someone were to get raped, like they tell their family, and like sometimes the family doesn't believe them, and you know it causes like family disputes. And that's why like a lot of people tend not to like, you know, tell their family about it, because number one, they might not be believed. Number two, it might cause family problems. So like, why even do it? So I think that's something important for like women to like, you know, always stand up against like. Even in America, we see it like right now, people are coming out forward, you know, with
the Me Too.
that happened back in 1990s, and that, like, you know, once like people start doing that, I feel like more will start like, you know, coming up and like, yeah, fighting for it.
Yeah, there's like I was saying before, there's a stigma, and that's why like the reason why a lot of the like rape cases in Pakistan go unreported is because, you know, like you were saying that, you know, this can lead to disputes between families. You know, it like something like this happening to a woman in a Pakistani like family is considered a burden, because, you know, you don't expect something this severe to happen to like, you know, because assuming that the woman is like not married. I mean, you can get raped when you're married too, but like
it's mostly towards girls who are like in their like
teens, even young girls that
like,
don't even know.
Right,
yeah,
elementary students.
Yeah, like sometimes you don't even there's certain like, you know, if you're like a young girl who's having this, you know, who's being raped by someone from their family or someone at like some like school official, you know, you don't even know what's happening to you. Like that's also one thing, is that you don't know what's happening to you, and then you realize that like years and years later, and then it's difficult to talk about it with family, with, you know, other people around you, because it's very strange. It's, you know, like it's not something that people want to hear, but that's the reality, is that it's a lot more common than you think, and people need to like bring more and more awareness to the community to make sure that like the perpetrators that exist there like know that this behavior is intolerant, and like this shouldn't even be happening in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I think a big thing that you said is awareness. Just spreading it, like even talking about it, it definitely like helps. Yeah, so that wraps up the topics. Do you guys have anything else you want to share with the people about Pakistan's culture?
Yeah, so, you know, I guess what I've like we definitely like cover topics, you know, talking about like the dark, like or like the hidden side of Pakistan, like a lot of the things that people don't talk, like, you know, bring awareness to, and that we should. But I think the good thing, like the good part about all of this is that like there is still hope, like for all like the young women that experience any sexual assault or rape, and that there's definitely like a brighter life ahead. So, you know, just even like, you know,
I mean, every country has their flaws. Like you see, like a prime example would be America and like what's going on within the media industry and whatnot. But like also Pakistan might have its issues too, but there are still women willing to fight and to work towards to get their freedom that they deserve.
In the end, I'm here to make a brief summary. In Pakistan, similar to other South Asia countries, women still experience unequal rights in terms of education, marriage, and family culture. Although there are some exceptions. However, for the majority of the Pakistan women, education and marriage are still extremely limited. For education, most of family, due to the financial region and the family culture, only allowed women to do work with family, take care of family members, and to be a housewife in the future. On the other hand, for marriage in Pakistan, women hardly marry the man that they wanted, since this will face a huge amount of pressure from family members, and there will be a lot of criteria to measure if they are accepted. Under this kind of environment, arranged marriage and forced marriage are still widely exist in Pakistan. For Pakistan family culture, women's rights are not as important as family honor. Just like what we talked about in the interview, if a woman was suffered from a rape, this would be either recognized as a lie or covered up by family members. Even the raper is from your own family. They do that because people believe exposure of this kind of incident might hurt the family honor and the future marriage.